Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Preston Indris. There has been a house fire in a Wilkes-Barre neighborhood, but luckily their local fire department was successful in preventing any extra damage. In the morning of Monday, November 24th, a fire started at a home's top floor, burning right through the roof and damaging the walls. The Wilkes-Barre Fire Department arrived on time to help put out the fire, along with some help from the Kingston Fire Department. While the house sustained heavy damage, no injuries were reported, and its residents and a few pets, including a dog and a rabbit, evacuated to safety. The incident occurred on 187 Dana Street in Wilkes-Barre. A sign was seen posted onto the entrance of the Woodlands building on Route 309 in Wilkes-Barre. The sign states that the building is unsafe for occupation. According to Jason Humanansky, a code official for Plains Township PPL shut off power to the building Monday night around 5:30 p.m. due to outstanding debt the building hasn't paid, totaling up to about $100,000. The safety systems at the Woodlands do not operate without electricity, which is why code enforcement stepped in and shut down the establishment. The fire department was informed around 8:30 p.m. and found multiple fire extinguishers that were out of code, and about 24 people were evacuated from the building. Humanansky says that when the power returns to the Woodlands, that they will return to inspect the building again. WYLN will bring you more updates on this story when we learn more. The Wilkes-Barre City Police Department is investigating a burglary at a business building and are looking for the man shown on screen. On Sunday, November 23rd, a burglary was reported at 195 North Wilkes-Barre Boulevard, thus the police were dispatched to the scene. After some investigating, the police found that the suspect gave a forced entry through the side door, then prying an office door open. Through surveillance footage, police found the suspect to be looking through the whole premises, then leaving the same way he came in. Anyone with information on the whereabouts or the identity of the suspect is strongly advised to contact the Wilkes-Barre City Police Department at 570-208-4200 or message them on their Facebook page. This is an ongoing investigation. 2 men have been charged from an arrest that took place in Danville last spring. 53-year-old Shane Maurer of Millville and 64-year-old Jeffrey Adams of Jim Thorpe were taken into custody after Danville police found them passed out at a Sunoco on May 5th of last year. Both men already had warrants out for their arrests. Police found more than 11 ounces of marijuana in baggies across the minivan. Officers also said there was a strong odor of pot coming from the vehicle. The van was later impounded. Also in the van, police found small amounts of fentanyl and methamphetamine along with several hypodermic needles and rolled joints. All of the drugs were sent to a state police crime lab for analysis prior to charges being filed with Danville District Judge William Wilt III. Maurer and Adams were both charged with felony possession with intent to deliver marijuana as well as having drug paraphernalia. The Wilkes-Barre City Police arrested a man on charges of shooting and killing someone in 2023. On Monday, detectives took 18-year-old Omar Reddit into custody for shooting 30-year-old Kyle Earl Lee Deslet on Cole Street in Wilkes-Barre over 2 years ago. Deslet was found unresponsive in the area of 230 Cole Street and was taken to Geisinger Wyoming Valley Medical Center in Plains Township, where he died shortly after. An autopsy revealed his death was a homicide and he sustained multiple gunshot wounds. At the scene, there were 14 9mm shell casings recovered. Surveillance footage shows 2 men running from 230 Cole Street to an apartment building, getting a third male, and going back. 1 man lifted an object before the 3 men took off again, 2 of them to 125 Cole Street, and the shooter to 145. A witness said that Deslet was having issues with teenagers over a female, and the shooter goes by Omar and Bubba in the streets. Detectives executed several search warrants for Reddit's social media platforms, specifically Instagram, where he talked about someone being clapped and said he was on the run and staying inside for 2 to 3 months. DNA collected from the shell casings came back to Reddit. In an interview, Reddit admitted to firing shots at Deslet in self-defense after Deslet aimed a firearm at 2 of his friends. Reddit was arraigned by District Judge Thomas Malloy on charges of criminal homicide, discharge of a firearm into an occupied structure, and illegal possession of a firearm of a minor. He was jailed without bail at the Luzerne County Correctional Facility. Coming up on WYLN News, Bloomsburg's Winterfest is returning and we have all of the important details. Plus, a local high school student is giving back to her local veteran community. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the Wyln Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by Lehigh Valley Health Network, part of Jefferson Health. With LVHN Same Day, Next Day Cancer Care, you can get a video visit with a clinician within 48 hours following a cancer diagnosis. Learn more at lvhn.org/cancercare.
Hi, my name is Russell. I'm 4 years old. Tomorrow's weather will be rainy.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today. Third Base Luncheonette, still making memories after all these years.
When you bundle home and auto, life can be easier. You choose coverage that makes sense for you, at a price that's right for you, and a local State Farm agent who's there for you.
Call State Farm agent Pete Casalicka in the greater Hazleton area today.
Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on WYLN TV 35. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969.
This week on Let's Talk Chiropractic, Grace Ann is back with us again to talk about the 12-step program. We've all heard about it, but most people are discharged after 4 or 5 steps. Let's talk about the full 12-step program to change and break addiction to give you freedom in your life.
Welcome back to Wyln News. A local high school student gives back to those who gave everything for us. Crestwood High School senior Avery Paisano, who is president of the FBLA, recently collected baskets of household items for homeless veterans. This came as part of her FBLA capstone project she called Housewarming for Heroes. Paisano's project focuses on helping out once homeless veterans have a smooth transition into stable housing. She realized the need for this topic for her project over the summer when she volunteered at the VA Medical Center in Plains Township. She said usually she'd be put in an office somewhere, but was asked to help with a homeless food drive. Paisano's project provides food and personal hygiene products and towels and blankets. She began collecting items in July. With the help of her community, she was able to fill the 50 baskets with cleaning supplies, kitchen essentials, toiletries, and other necessities. Donations were collected at several events, such as the Crestwood High School Salute to Service football game, Junior Comets football games, and in the high school classrooms. The completed baskets were delivered to the Wilkes-Barre VA Medical Center for Veterans Day and were distributed to previously homeless veterans. The project made sure veterans received a warm welcome to their new living situation and gave them dignity and stability. FBLA's capstone project is to help students show their leadership, organization, and community engagement, And Crestwood's FBLA advisor Christy Labach said that Avery's compassion and leadership shows every way in her Housewarming for Heroes project. Luzerne County has officially certified this year's election results at a meeting Monday night. The certification went through smoothly without objection during a short 15-minute meeting. County Manager Emilda Crocomo applauded the management of the program and thanked the main staff that helped on the election night. After fixing some irregularities in the vote total, the final amount ballots cast was 78,484, which makes up 38.25% of registered voters in Luzerne County, an 8% increase in turnout from the 2021 elections, which featured many similar municipal and judicial elections. The Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce is set to host their final red carpet of 2025. Considerably, this is also a breakfast program at Capriati's, with a $28 fee for chamber members and a $32 fee for non-members. On Tuesday, December 2nd at 7:45 a.m., the leaders of the Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton will give an update to the business community on important campus projects. The leaders will also give updates on the results of the most recent community health needs assessment. At the end of it all, there will be a Q&A, giving everyone a big chance to gather more information. This event will take place at Capriati's at 1 Banks Avenue, McAdoo. It will run from 7:45 to 9 o'clock a.m. Bloomsburg is back at it again with a festival of fun for the holidays. The Bloomsburg Winterfest is returning to the Bloomsburg Fairgrounds for a 2-day run, starting Friday, November 28th. The event will host at least 250 craft vendors who will present hundreds of amazing pieces of holiday art, especially ones for the sake of great decorating. Musicians will be featured both days and will play music for all to hear. There will be horse-drawn rides for everyone to enjoy. The vendors will also sell a variety of homemade baked goods, ranging from cookies to cakes to pies, anything that shouts holiday spirit. And what good is a holiday treat at the Winterfest without the hot chocolate? On Friday night, the Parade of Lights will commence and feature a special appearance from Santa Claus. On Saturday morning, there will be an activity called the Fa La La 5K, including a prize for those who are best dressed. The event starts this coming Friday, so get those calendars marked for a good time. Coming up on Drum's News Choice, State Police Trooper Anthony Petrosky will talk about the do's and don'ts if you get pulled over on this week's Trooper Talk Tuesday. Plus, Wyln historian Chris Fulmer leads us down the path through history with Sunbury Part 2. And stay right here on Wyln. We'll be right back.
For a better customer experience, visit Fairway Subaru in Hazleton. Fairway Subaru has been providing generations of customers with Subarus. With exceptional customer service they've come to expect. Check out our selection in person or at fairwaysubaru.com. Fairway Subaru, the right car, the right price, the right dealer.
And you will love the feel-good feeling you get when you shop at Grand Central in Nescopeck and Hazleton. You will enjoy a no-pressure professional sales staff, experienced delivery crew, service after the sale,
and don't forget, everyday low prices.
No matter what you're shopping for in your home, we have you covered with top brand names like Flex Steel, Lazy Boy, England, and Dillon Custom Rugs.
With our enormous selection and the flexibility to finance interest-free for up to 60 months, Grand Central makes it easy to make your house a home.
Something is out there. What it is, no one knows. However, since its first sighting, there have been numerous reports of strange lights in the night sky. Some say they are extraterrestrials, flying saucers. But to all of those seemingly unrelated uncertainties, there is one common thread.
Solo Spaceman. Watch Solo Spaceman on WYLN Thursdays at 1:30, Saturdays at 7, and Sundays at 4:30.
Hey guys, this is Ray, Matt, and Chad from Blaze Alexander Greater Hazleton GMC. I just want to give thanks. I'm thankful for being part of the community and being able to share what we make with the charities.
And I'm very thankful that we're taking the deals the other guys won't.
I'm thankful to wear this turkey hat right now.
I'd be thankful that you don't work here.
So from the bottom of our hearts, we want to thank you for being part of Blaze Alexander Greater Hazleton. Who's talking turkey?
Talking real turkey.
Gobble, gobble.
WYLN TV 35 is expanding and is on the hunt for a dynamic salesperson to join our vibrant team. If you've got the passion and the drive, we want to hear from you. Send your resume to the email displayed on your screen. Don't miss this great opportunity.
WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another WYLN Trooper Talk Tuesday segment. I'm Trooper Anthony Petrowski, Troop N Public Information Officer. Today we're talking about traffic stops. Yes, you have probably never been pulled over before, but in case you do, I'm going to talk about what you should and shouldn't do. Believe it or not, a lot of people go their entire lives without getting pulled over, and then maybe at an older age they do get pulled over and they don't know what to properly do. So, first and foremost, pull over in a safe location. A lot of times people see the red and blue lights behind them and they think, what do? I better stop right now in the middle of the road. And obviously that is a don't. We don't want you to stop in the middle of the road. Pull over in a safe location completely off of the road, not halfway on the road, completely off of the road. Then stay in your vehicle. There's some things that we're doing before we approach your vehicle, and that's calling it in using our radio to call in our location, the vehicle we're out with. So stay in the vehicle. Never, ever, ever exit the vehicle on a traffic stop. We, as law enforcement, do not know why you're exiting that vehicle. Sure, we know who the vehicle is owned by, but that doesn't tell us who's actually in the vehicle at the time of the traffic stop. So remain in the vehicle. When we approach, we're going to explain to you who we are and why you pulled you over. Then we're going to ask for those 3 magic documents: your driver's license, your registration, and your insurance card. Now, those documents are required to be with you anytime you operate a motor vehicle in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. After that, we're going to wait. We're going to tell you to wait in your vehicle and don't exit. We're going to go back to our car, and we might do some paperwork. We might be running your information. But again, don't exit. If you have a question, just stay in your vehicle, and we will be back up. From there, we will explain whether we give you a traffic citation, a warning, or a verbal warning. The troopers will definitely explain what you need to do. And just remember, the side of the road is not a courtroom. Okay, so if you have questions, if you think that it's incorrect, then you could plead not guilty, and you can have your day in court. We don't want to be out there for a very long time, and we also don't want you to be out there for a long time. It should be a somewhat quick interaction, and again, if you don't feel that anything's correct, then you could plead not guilty and have a hearing. Now, it's very easy to avoid all of this. Don't get pulled over. Obey the traffic laws, watch your speed, and most importantly, maintain eyes on the road, keep your phones down. Remember, it can wait. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you right back here on another Trooper Talk Tuesday.
It's cold out there. Call S.J. Kowalski for the best products and solutions to help lower your energy costs and keep your family safe and comfortable this winter. Our professional team has unparalleled experience with all the latest innovative types of heating systems. We're a Lennox Premier dealer, installing high-quality equipment, providing the ultimate experience in comfort and climate control while being energy efficient. S.J. Kowalski, heating and cooling the way the earth intended.
Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on WYLN TV 35. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. Hey, did you know WYLN posts news stories and other bonus content on social media all week long? The Weather Kids, Fresh from the Farm, Everyday Heroes, Let's Talk Sports, Feel Good Friday, daily news stories, and more. Visit WYLNTV.com, Facebook, and YouTube to check it out. WYLN, the local leader on social media. We're your local network.
Hello, I'm Wyln historian Chris Fulmer. Pennsylvania's communities are filled with interesting history. Come with me as we discover the people, events, industries, and other historic facets of local towns.
Hi, my name is Wyln. I'm 4 years old. Tomorrow's weather will be rainy.
With the railroad success, they would trigger the rise of other businesses in Sunbury as well. Brickmaking was an early industry in town. Foundries and leather-making facilities also took root, as did liquor industries. One notable brewery in Sunbury was the Cold Spring Brewery, opened by Joseph Boucher in 1865 at the corner of Packer and North 7th Streets. It survived Prohibition by selling near beer of 2% alcohol, although it reportedly still sold regular beer under the table during this time. The brewery closed in 1935, shortly after Prohibition ended. On the outbreak of the Civil War, Sunbury Sons joined the war effort for the Union. Among those who answered the call was John Peter Schindel Gobin, who had practiced law before the conflict. Assigned to first the 11th and then the 47th Pennsylvania Infantry, he would serve in campaigns throughout the South during the war, eventually becoming the regiment's commander. Gobin would participate in the only successful capture of infantry of a Confederate steamer, the Governor Milton, during the war, and would be promoted to Brigadier General for bravery at the Battle of Pocatalico in South Carolina. After the war, Gobin moved to Lebanon and resumed his law practice, while also becoming active in the Pennsylvania National Guard. He was elected to the state senate in 1884 and served through 1899, including a term as the body's president pro tempore from 1891 to 1893. In 1898, Gobin was elected Pennsylvania's lieutenant governor and served 4 years in the position under Governor William Stone. He would afterwards be overall commander of the Pennsylvania National Guard from 1906 to 1907. John Pierre Schindel Gobin died in 1910 and today rests in Lebanon's Mount Lebanon Cemetery. History would be made in Sunbury in 1883 with the arrival of Thomas Edison in town. After having invented the first practical incandescent light bulb in 1879, Edison had been searching for a place to put a central power generator. Although he had successfully done so in Manhattan, lighting up 800 lights with a station on Pearl Street, Edison dreamed bigger and wanted to light up an entire town with his bulbs. One of his business associates, who was originally from Williamsport, recommended Sunbury to him, pointing out that its location close to coalfields gave it a ready source of power for the proposed plant. And so, in the spring of 1883, Edison arrived in the city, where he and his company built a coal-fired power plant at the corner of Vine and 4th Streets. They ran wires from it on overhead lines to adjoining houses and businesses, connecting them to the plant. An initial test on the night of July 3rd failed due to improperly lubricated dynamo bearings of the plant, but repairs were quickly made. And so, on the following evening, the 4th of July, 1883, Edison flipped the switch that turned on a 100-foot candle light over the entrance of the City Hotel, which had been the company's headquarters during installation. The hotel thus became the first building in the world to be lit by 3-wire incandescent light. In honor of this historic moment, the City Hotel will be eventually renamed the Hotel Edison, and it has become custom for Sunbury to raise a light bulb on New Year's Eve to ring in the new year. Central Pennsylvania may not be the first location that comes to mind when one thinks of silver or lead mining, but Sunbury was where the Susquehanna Mining and Smelting Company thought they could make a fortune with the minerals. Chartered in November 1882, the company started mining for silver and lead the same month, and soon afterwards built their smelting facility between the tracks of the Sunbury, Shamokin, and Lewisburg and the Northern Central Railways. Chutes carried the iron ore down from the mines in Silver Hill to the railroad cars for quick and easy transport. On July 19, 1883, the company was the very first to smelt Pennsylvania ore into lead. But what at first seemed like a bright future would turn out to be a mirage, as 6 months after opening, the Susquehanna Mining and Smelting Company would be sold at sheriff's sale. Initial hopes that another smelting company would continue operations, albeit using ore from western states, proved to be wishful thinking, and the mine company's land would be sold off in the following years. At the turn of the century neared, there was much to see and do in Sunbury. Keithan's Bakery was opened by John August Keithan in 1881 on Market Street. In addition to baked goods, the business was also a confectionery and ice cream shop. It was one of the first businesses in Sunbury to switch to electric lighting after Edison's successful experiment in town. Indeed, the bakery had the honor of being the 6th business in the entire world to be illuminated by electricity. John Keithan's children continued running the bakery for many decades. When it closed in 1976, the bakery was the oldest operating small business in Sunbury. In the meantime, the town had the honor of having the Liberty Bell pass through in 1893 on its way to the Royal Columbian Exposition in Chicago. In Sunbury itself, the Susquehanna Silk Mill opened in 1896 and became a major employer. It would operate through 1952, reopen in 1954 as the Sunbury Textile Mills, and run for another 68 years. Mary M. Packer Hospital, the first notable hospital in the lower Susquehanna Valley, opened in a former mansion on Purdy Street in 1895. Later known as Sunbury Community Hospital, and eventually part of the UPMC chain, it operated through 2020. Residents could also shop downtown at Rice's Department Store, which opened in 1900. Throughout the 19th and early 20th centuries, covered bridges sprang up all over the Susquehanna Valley, with countless spans crossing the area's waterways, including the Susquehanna River itself. 4 covered bridges still stand in Northumberland County today, and one of these stands in the Sunbury area. The Kiefer Station covered bridge was built in 1888 for $882 and named for its builder, George Kiefer. Built with a burr truss design, it stresses 109 feet over Shamokin Creek on Mill Road. The Kiefer Station covered bridge was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1979. It was rebuilt in 1986 and continues to carry vehicular traffic today. Underneath even the most happiest seeming town, darkness can occasionally lurk. On October 10, 1898, darkness would strike the family of local farmer Henry Smith. On the morning of that day, he sent his daughter Daisy, age 16, to collect ferns to help cure a sick horse on the farm. When Daisy did not return by lunchtime, Henry went looking for her. What he would find was every parent's worst nightmare. Daisy lay dead in a rye field, shot with her throat slashed. Suspicion quickly fell on her neighbor, 18-year-old Edward Cressinger, who had a history of assaulting young women in the area, and whose unwelcome advances Daisy had spurned shortly before her death. Cressinger was arrested for the crime and confessed to shooting, although not slashing Daisy, but still pled not guilty at his trial, for which his team used a defense of insanity. It did not work, and Cressinger was convicted of first-degree murder. On January 4, 1900, the now 20-year-old Cressinger was hanged at the Sunbury jail, the youngest person to be executed in Pennsylvania up till that time. Daisy Smith rests today in Mountain Presbyterian Cemetery, her justice having been done. More tragedy would strike the Sunbury area on July 13, 1901. With the canals closing at the turn of the 20th century, locals were looking for ways to repurpose the canal boats. The boat Montour, which had sailed between Sunbury and Danville, was selected to be used as a public charter boat. An early test of the vessel in this capacity seemed to show it in fine order for the job. On the day in question, the Montour was docked at Sunbury, awaiting passengers to take on a fishing trip. As the local trains were running late, the crew was waiting for their guests to arrive. Suddenly, without warning, the Montour exploded, sending debris in every direction. Tragically, several young boys who had been fishing off a flatboat moored next to the former canal boat were killed, among them Alan Fetzer and Charles Keller. The Montour's captain, George Freimeyer, was also among the dead, having been blown clean out into the middle of the river by the explosion. It would take 2 days for searchers to find his body. The cause of the explosion was never conclusively ascertained.
Hi, my name is Rosalind. I'm 4 years old. Tomorrow's weather will be rainy.
You're watching WYLN TV 35.